Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there.
Apparently, a plane has just crashed there. Understandably so, but of course, the major concern is human loss.
Oh my God! Another plane has just hit. Oh, another one just hit.
Oh my God!
My God!
Just flew directly over my building.
Terrorism is the violence or threat of violence done for a political, ideological or religious purpose. When 9/11 happened, I was head of international counter-terrorism operations and intelligence in Special Branch at Scotland Yard. And a couple of years after that, I came out to Australia as the UK's counter-terrorism liaison officer. And after a number of years doing that role, I joined Charles Sturt University to initially take over or to run the terrorism program. When you look around the world over the last 20 years, terrorism has taken lots of different forms. I guess in the old days, you'd be looking for bombs and bullets and explosions. You can actually have a similar effect now by just going and hiring a car or using a car, and that's actually quite frightening.
A van mounted the pavement on London Bridge, hitting several pedestrians.
Technology has made getting the message out a lot easier. So Al-Qaeda have got their own online magazine, and also the Islamic State have as well. And I'll give you just an example of one which was terrifyingly effective. In one of the first editions, I think it was actually edition number 2 of this particular Al-Qaeda magazine, they advocated the use of cars as weapons. And they said, you should be driving them into crowds. They actually said you should be prepared to die because you should actually have a knife or a gun in your cabin, and when your car was stopped, you should get out and then try and attack people with knives.
A van has driven into a crowd of people in Barcelona.
Barcelona police are now saying that this is a terrorist attack.
I think the whole issue of radicalisation is one of the most complicated parts of counter-terrorism. So why do people become radicalised? Well, they read, they hear, they get spoken to by individuals who try and indoctrinate them into a particular way of thinking.
3 London schoolgirls, aged 15 and 16, and described as straight-A students, are thought to be heading to Syria to join Islamic State.
We don't know exactly what motivated these 3 friends to leave home.
The fear is that those 3 girls have gone to Syria to become jihadi brides.
At CSU, we have a postgraduate course in terrorism and security studies, and we look at the history of terrorism, because I think you've got to know about the history of terrorism. And we also look at contemporary terrorism. We look at things like radicalisation, and we look at the whole issue of IT in terrorism as well. So we're probably one of the only universities in the world which actually has a whole course dedicated to terrorism. A lot of the other courses in other universities have got a few subjects in terrorism in there, things like international relations degree, but we specialise in countering terrorism. In CSU, we've got a mixture of people who have actually gone out there and done the job. So we've got people like me who've spent a lot of time in policing counter-terrorism. We have people who have been in the military and involved in counter-terrorism, and we've also had people that have been in intelligence agencies, and then they've left their agencies or the military, and they've moved into academia. Terrorism is definitely more prevalent now. More people are dying through terrorism than any time ever.
Yesterday's dual terrorist bombings at the end of the Boston Marathons. 3 dead, 176 people treated for injuries.
There are at least 3 shootings in northeast Paris.
An explosion has left at least 22 people dead.
But that's why we need people to be able to come in and help combat terrorism. It's really important that we have the right people that can come in with the right knowledge that can assist societies resist this evil, which is terrorism.